Hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm going on a bike ride with my partner David to John Heinz Wildlife Refuge, which is in the Eastwick neighborhood of Southwest Philadelphia. We live in West Philadelphia, and we're leaving from our house, hitting the Cobbs Creek Trail where somebody's doing some crunches right on the trail. And this is a paved part, but we are riding north to hook up with the unpaved sort of gravelly section that we like to ride on. There are a lot less people on it usually, and I like to ride off-road, so that's what we're gonna do. This is a pretty nice day in November, and there have been a lot less storms, so there's a lot of leaves on the trees. Here's where we're gonna drop down into the off-road section of trail. And this part of the trail is pretty well maintained, just generally, but also because they've been doing some work on it to replace some sewer lines, which you'll see in a little bit. Lots of leaves, a little tight squeeze, and we're just gonna bomb down. So we love riding our bikes in Philly, especially when you get to ride off-road or on trails away from cars. I'm using a bell here to indicate that we're passing so that people are aware and we don't scare anyone, hopefully. So this is like a maintained gravel path that we're riding on. To my right is Upper Darby. There's a bridge up here that is a pedestrian bridge that people can walk across to connect that neighborhood to West Philadelphia. We're about to hit the section that's getting worked on. So you'll see some long, big pipes that I assume they're going to bury, hopefully sooner rather than later. Here they are. It's been a long project. Normally this path is a lot more narrow. The rocks here are kind of big. The other day I got a flat on one of these rocks on this bike, but I used a dart and closed it up. So this is sort of our go-to ride when we don't want to be bothered by any cars or deal with anything, and it's just easy and you know what you're going to get, and there's a lot of pedaling because it's pretty flat. Good ride for when you don't know what you want to do. This is my partner David. We're riding up a paved section of the trail. This is the only climb probably in the whole video. It's pretty steep. You can see we're riding the same bike, but his bike is the rim brake version, and I'm riding on a mechanical disc brake version. We upgraded the brakes to Paul's side clampers. He has mini motos. But they're great brakes, you should get them. I love these bikes because they have great geometry and they're really fun for riding gravel. You can fit a bigger tire because it's actually a cross bike. But we use it kind of like a gravel bike. To our right is a playground and some basketball courts. The creek that we're running along, which is to my right now, the Lenape tribe called it Karakung, which is thought to mean the place of wild geese. This park is about 851 acres, which it sounds really big, but it's a very long park. So it goes all the way up to Overbrook, where it turns into Morris Park, and all the way south to the Philadelphia International Airport, and even further south from there. To our left is the Cobbs Creek Parkway, which was at one point thought They had tried to turn it into an extension of I-95, but thankfully they didn't, even though people still drive like it's part of I-95 because they drive so fast. But recently they added a bunch of traffic calming measures, including speed bumps, which have helped a lot. I'm always scared somebody's gonna fly off the road and onto our trail. When it floods, they do drive on the trail, which is great. I love this bridge. We're getting close to a part of this route where we have to get off the trail and onto the road. Well, we use the sidewalk and then onto some bike paths. Here we're going underneath a railroad bridge. We used to have to ride in the road here, but about 3 years ago they opened this protected path that's amazing, and I can't say enough how much it's improved our quality of life, because riding in the road was super scary because of how narrow it is there, and people do not care that you're not protected by metal when they pass you. So here we're dropping down onto, again, new section of trail, one of the newer sections. Unfortunately, it's not super well maintained, but it doesn't really bother me because I'd rather ride here than on the road. It's super fun though. I see a lot of people using it for pedestrian use just to get places, which is also really nice for them. This is firmly in the Eastwick neighborhood, behind some houses, and this was finished I think 1.5 to 2 years ago. It's also very, very new and super duper nice, and part of an infrastructure plan that the Biden administration supported. It's amazing. And it takes you right to the entrance of John Heinz, which we're about to get to. They're still working on this trail, so up here there's some mobile house type of structures. They planted a bunch of trees. This used to be a dump to my right and behind me. And all of this is marshlands that used to take up about 5,000 acres and are now much, much less than 5,000 acres after people filled it in, after European settlers filled it in to turn it into farmlands. It's a pretty big intersection that's scary to cross, so we usually take it pretty slow and make sure no cars are coming. And thankfully, we can wait for the light in this new little section. This path was created, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and it used to just be a really wide road, and there would be like disabled vehicles and people driving really fast down it and big potholes. So it's really nice that they turned the right side of the road into this paved trail that takes you right into the wildlife refuge. You don't even have to ride in the road with the cars as you enter, because there is a gravel path to the side that we get to use, which makes it super nice for riding bikes or walking. So I've been riding bikes for about 6 or 7 years, I think. Regularly riding bikes. I guess I've always ridden a bike since I was a kid, but riding them for exercise and touring and for fun, and really brings me a lot of, I don't know, enjoyment. It helps improve the quality of my life a lot, physically, mentally, all the ways. And it's taken time to learn how to ride safely and get the technical skills up, but it's been really worth it, even at an older age, because I'm 37 right now, so I guess I started in my late 20s, early 30s. It's probably been more than 6 or 7 years. I think COVID makes it hard to know time. Maybe more like 8 or 9. So this is the main loop that's on the Philly side of John Heinz. This wildlife refuge is part of Tinicum. In the Lenape, Native Americans called it Tenacon Mincas, or Islands of the Marsh. It was primarily used for fishing, hunting, and gathering by the Lenape. It really feels like a marsh and reminds me of Florida, where we grew up, and it's almost like a piece of Florida in Pennsylvania. It's really strange. Obviously not like Florida and the fauna, but just the marshland part. There's a little turny section here that's super fun to ride through. And the path is just so beautiful. So we usually ride out as far as we can. There's about 10 miles of paths in John Heinz. I try to ride as much of it as I can, and some parts of it that I'm not supposed to. But those parts never have any people on them, so sorry, not sorry. And here's David enjoying the day. It was so nice. I always see deer here running around. So many deer. Too many deer. That's I-95. Right off to the side, and it is kind of loud, but I think I'm just used to hearing that sound, that it doesn't bother me anymore. So they basically built the highway on the marshlands that were providing food for the Lenape people for who knows how long. Some more people walking on the trail. So I first got into bikes by bike packing, and really enjoy just the ability to get on my bike from my house and ride somewhere and then stay the night. I think that's super cool. Just like kind of blows my mind that you can do that. And then I did a racing development program put on by what was called Women Bike PHL at the time, to learn how to race cyclocross, because my partner really wanted to get into cyclocross, David, and that was instrumental in getting me into riding more for fitness and getting me to train on my bike, not just ride it for fun. And it really helped for me to find friends by riding bikes. You can really just, you meet all different types of people, ages, interests, I don't know, jobs on bikes, and I feel like it's the best way to meet people and get exercising and get beaten by a lot of people. That's usually what's happening to me, is me getting beaten by everyone, but I still enjoy it. It really doesn't matter if you're winning. I think just doing the thing is worthwhile, and that feels like a win to me. So here we're riding around the other side of the marsh. So heading back towards West Philly. I work on a computer all day, so riding my bike is basically the only time that I use my body. With David, bakes bread, so he stands all day and probably gets tired of having to ride with me, but it's like really nice to have something like this to share with your partner that you both like to do, even if it's not bikes. It could be hiking or running or, I don't know, rock climbing or whatever you like. But to have it something that you do together, I think has really helped us maintain our relationship for so long. We've been together for 15 years, I think. Numbers are hard. We moved to West Philadelphia about 13 or 14 years ago together, not long after we started dating, from Sarasota, Florida. And yeah, bikes have been a really great way to meet people in the city and make friends and experience Pennsylvania, which is one of the best states. Way, way, way better than Florida, in my personal opinion. I hope you enjoy riding your bike too if you watch this video. Or maybe you're interested in getting into bikes. And it really doesn't matter what kind of bike you have. You can really ride your bike anywhere, any kind of bike. Just have to go slower if it's not equipped for the terrain. But don't give up. You just have to keep doing it. That's what I do. I've been bad at things for a long time, and then the more I do them, the better I get at them. I love this section because it feels really remote, and it has these crazy plants that grow alongside it. I love seeing the changes throughout the seasons. You see different plants. Different things come and go. And in the early morning, you see lots of bunnies, especially in the spring and summer, that'll jump across the path, and you have to avoid them so that you don't run over any bunnies. And John Heinz is really popular for bird watching. I've seen some bald eagles here, and probably other birds that I have no idea what they're called, because I'm not into birding, but no shame in people who do like birding. So if you're ever visiting Philadelphia and you want an easy ride, because this ride is really flat and doesn't require a lot of skill as far as technical ability, because it's just gravel, this is a great easy ride to do, and I suggest it to anybody. You could drive and park at the wildlife refuge if you don't want to ride from the city. But because we live right by the Cobbs Creek Trail, it just makes sense for us to ride our bikes right from our house. There's just nothing like the freedom of hopping on your bike and going for a bike ride. So I'm actually holding us up for a bike ride today, or whatever we end up doing, by making this video, but I really hope you like it. Maybe you can put it on and put me on mute and watch it while you ride your trainer or something like that, and just enjoy the nature. And hopefully you're not too annoyed by my flashing rear light that I forgot to turn off once we got on the trail. It's annoying me. But whatever you do today, go outside. Even if it's for 2 seconds. scaring people off the path. Walkers really like to take up as much space as possible. And people like to walk 5 or 6 wide, which I think is crazy because you can't possibly be talking from one end of a 6 group of people to the other end. But whatever. Try to remember to use the trail in a way that allows other people to use it too. Some bird watching happening over there. Some dog walking. We're heading out of the wildlife refuge now. Thankfully, this land has been protected so that we get to use it this way. If it hadn't been, this would just be more highway. And I think we have enough highway. David likes to say, you're not in traffic, you are traffic, which I think is true. Whenever I'm in my car, I try to remember that. When I'm annoyed by getting stuck or slowing down. I could just be on the bike. But instead I decided to drive a car that day. Here we go, we're heading back out. And apparently riding like maniacs. This turn is so fun. There's some roots here that you can avoid. But then you run into that tree. Some fun lines. You can see all the cars parked. But we didn't need to bring cars, so we didn't take up a parking spot. Well, I'm going to keep making more of these. I'll probably try to record one ride a week or every other week. And hopefully they get better. I'm just going to keep trying to make them. Let me know what you think. I hope you liked the video. I hope you're riding your bike. Today or tomorrow or sometime soon. We're back on the paved trail on our way home, back in the city. It's fun how it feels like you escape the city and can get right back into it again. Thank goodness for these projects that make things more accessible and make it possible for us to get places safely and get out of the way of the people who are frustrated because they are traffic. Yeah. Have a fun day, and I hope you watch our next video. Take care.